streaming the Metal Mixtape here on KSQ 89.5 FM Ashland, Oregon, 94.1 FM Medford, Oregon, streaming online on kskqdjramo. It's the voice of Don DJ Ramo. With great honor, we have one of the most legendary fucking bass players in the fucking world. We're one of the most amazing bands, HELLOWEEN. We got Markus on the line. Markus, how are you?
That was quick talking, man. What did you say? Can you repeat it? Can you do it double as quick, double as fast?
Hey, I've been doing vocals for 20 years. Don't test me.
It's all right. I'm fine. I'm having a laugh.
Well, Markus, we have so much to talk about. I mean, we have the United Forces tour. We have the Reunited album. We have the Best Time in Skyfall videos, which are just absolutely amazing. We have fan questions for you. We have it the whole shebang.
All right. I'm with you. Once I'm awake, you know. Once I'm sober.
No, I've been working since 6 this morning doing like framing work and stuff, so I'm wide awake.
All right. And then it's time to fall into sleep again.
So Markus, one of the things we like to do on this show is that, like, you know, a lot of times when people like to get inspired, so we'd like to talk to the musicians and we like to know about their upbringings, how they grew up, when they had their big moments. For me, Markus, I want to know, for you, like, when you started off as a kid or a teenager, did you have family around you? Did somebody hand you a record that inspired you? What started off like the spark in your head when you were younger to maybe want to be a musician?
I mean, I was grown up in like a classical workers family, you know. My mother was a nurse and my father was a builder and a cleaner, with cleaning houses, cleaning windows and all that. And I learned the job of the butcher for 3 years in an apprenticeship, you know. And wow. And they sent me, because we didn't have that much money left for like going into big holidays and flying here, flying there. That's what we never could afford. So they were sending me to this farm, you know, to this holiday farm where there were like a lot of kids each summer season. And it was kind of cheap, but it was kind of great, you know. They have it's been done from like the Christian organization, which was kind of very, very cool. They were praying before they start eating and stuff like this, like this. And when I was very, very young, I of course had a laugh. But then in the end of the day, you know, it's not so bad that we were there and then got treated this way, you know. And well, that's where I always went for like weeks and weeks in the summertime, because we learned some friends over there. We had a couple of guys, and one day there were two punks coming in doing music. I was into music anyway, and they needed a bass player. The understanding was great, and I learned those two guys, and we were secretly smoking behind the barn. I mean, I wasn't smoking, but they did, and I secretly bought beer. I was the one bringing the beer in. And, you know, they needed a bass player. I told them I can fucking do the job, you know. I didn't even have a clue how to play, but I was trying to get into this because I was listening to Sex Pistols and Ramones music anyway, and you know, kind of stuff. So that's what we started with, you know. They brought, it wasn't so far away from home, you know. It was just like 1.5 hours drive from Hamburg, where we all lived. And they got the gear coming in. They got the gear with a car in, and we were rehearsing in a barn, you know. The first chords I learned in a barn that was like built up for like sleeping there, and there was like table tennis and all that kind of stuff for kids, you know. And that was just great. We started rehearsing over there, and I kind of liked it a lot. The first chords I learned was like some songs from the Ramones, some songs from the Sex Pistols, you know.
Yeah.
And that was so much fun, and it was great, you know. This punk music I still love the Ramones and the Sex Pistols, because those were the very, very first songs I learned.
That is
And
so. Go ahead.
that's great, hanging out with other guys, learning them, and then meeting somebody doing music, and fantastic, And we were just like hanging around all summer long, having a great time.
That's awesome, man. I would have never known you started off with a punk background, and the Ramones and Sex Pistols are just amazing, and I bet they were amazing to see back in the day live.
Yeah, I didn't see them live. I saw the Ramones once, but the Sex Pistols I didn't really see because they were kind of they broke up very, very early, actually, right?
Yeah.
So I was not able to see them. And the Ramones I saw later when I was just like old enough to go to concert. I was giving my own shows already because we started early going on tour when I was 20 and 21 and stuff like this. And I was always in another city when the Ramones came to Hamburg. But once or twice I saw them in Hamburg. And it was great. And it was like the original lineup that was years ago, I don't think the drummer is still alive, isn't he?
Yeah, Richie just played in my hometown.
Oh, all right. What's he doing then? Just like jamming, or?
Yeah, it's Richie Ramones, and I forget the band that's called with them, but they're playing a bunch of Ramones songs.
Oh, all right. So he's gonna kind of keeping it up a little.
Yeah. So you know what? I feel like a lot of times in people's careers, there's always like that one big show that like kind of like triggers you in your head and like, oh my gosh, like I can do this for a living. This is like big time. Do you remember like your first big show where you kind of like were like, holy shit, Marcus, yeah. I could have like, this is the big time. Like you got to step your game up. Like you got to perform tonight. Do you remember your first big show like that?
Yeah, the first show I saw like in a professional way was in a school place. There was like, it wasn't a professional band, but they sounded, they weren't like earning money with it, but they were coming in playing really, really great. And I thought, wow, this is sounding very, very professional. This is what I want to do. But this was not just like a big show, not a big show. It was just like in a school place, but the band was really, really great. And since ever, I was just like, later on, I became a fan of rock and roll music, AC/DC, Kiss, Ted Nugent, Scorpions, and Ozzy Osbourne, Black Sabbath, and so on, you name it. And then I went to shows with them. And the very, very first big show I saw actually was in Hamburg, was like the Scorpions. It was a Scorpion show, actually. Now we're going to play with them.
Do you remember the first time you ever played a big arena with maybe HELLOWEEN or just like any time you just went out on stage, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is it?
That was when we started touring with Iron Maiden, because we've been on the same management, That was Smallwood and Taylor. They brought us on tour with Iron Maiden, and they played big arenas and shit. And it was just like, wow, yeah, that's it. It wasn't headline shows for us, but, it seemed to be a very, very cool package, Iron Maiden and HELLOWEEN, And that's when we got the first real big shows supporting Iron Maiden, being on stage for an hour, listening to that huge audience, scaring you to shit. And when you go to Castle Donington, it's even bigger than like an arena that they usually do, That was like 100,000 people. What do I know? Suddenly you're standing there having like those people throwing shit at the stage all the time.
Oh my God.
And that was kind of impressing, But that's big shows. That's, of course, impressing. Really, really impressing me, for all of us. But, it's like we did small clubs, we did tiny clubs, we did all kinds of stuff. We still do well, we cannot fill an arena alone. We got to go to festivals. But, you know, I still play in little clubs. I still play in little places with friends here and there doing a sessions. There's a lot of cover bands going on in Hamburg. And I especially jump in for like the Sin Lizzy cover band, playing a couple of tunes for a couple of free beers, you know. I still like that as well. It's emotional.
That is so amazing. I'm going to throw a fan question from you. It's from my friend David Jones from a band called Crimson Guardian. He says, so he knows that you've written a few songs for the band. What is the process like when you have an idea with a band? Are you coming in with an idea? Are you coming in with a full song already? Or is it something like everybody just adds on to?
Yeah, well, we're kind of spread. We're living around all over Europe, kind of stuff. You know, I'm living in Hamburg. There's people living in Spain, and we are quite separated from each other when we're at home. So everybody starts writing at home, maybe a chorus line or like a basement for a song, or a finished song, or with some lyrics or without lyrics, with missing solo parts. And if it comes to the time when we say, all right, let's start thinking about a new record, you know, we hook up together for a couple of days, listening to all those ideas, trying to find out, all right, this is what we're going to do, this is what we like. And then we got all this song ideas, we got all this material, which is a lot, actually, because we're like more than 5 songwriters in the band right now. You have a lot of stuff going on. Then we collecting all those recordings, going back home for a month or 6 weeks, letting it grow, listening to it and thinking, all right, this is maybe good enough, or working on it. And then we hook up together, deciding. It's like a very, very long process we're gonna go through when we start doing a record, because there's so much material and you never know what you're going to end up with, you know.
That's incredible. And the fact that, like, honestly, I've never heard of any band having like more than 2 songwriters. And I think it's absolutely incredible that like you guys all can like manage to have like a good relationship, and you guys have so much damn music, so that totally makes sense.
Yeah, I kind of like this. It gives you a big variety of ideas. It gives you a big variety of music in a metal way, and I mean, we just like that. I mean, if it comes to ideas, we have a lot of those, and if it comes to the idea, when we started getting close to the idea of having a reunion, you know, why fire a very, very good singer to get another very, very good singer in, and why fire a hell of a guitar player to get another hell of a guitar player in, you know? So we decided, why not taking it on? Why not keeping it a big thing? Why not building up a big fucking 2.5, 3 singer, 3 guitar player kind of circus, you know? And I kind of like it. It doesn't make it actually easier to choose songs or to discuss ideas, because there's not 2 more people having a lot of words about the music, having a lot of words about ideas. It's even more complicated than before, but it's a big challenge, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a great input, you know. That's the way I kind of like it. It's fun, and it's stressy, but it's fun. And in the end of the day, you have a hell of a record, you know.
Oh yeah, no, you guys are phenomenal. Honestly, I love watching your videos. I love listening to you guys. My friend David, who asked the fan question, he was telling me, he's like, dude, if anything, Helloween's the best band in the world, if not one of the best. And like before that, I've maybe only listened to a couple of your albums, and I just went down and listened to everything. And I love how you guys brought the Reunited and brought a bunch of tracks and worked on that. And it's so freaking sweet. And this tour, you guys are going all over the place. You're touring with Hammerfall. You're touring right now in the United States. Are you guys on the road right now?
No, we had a little break. And the next thing we're going to do is South America before we come to North America. And then we do a South America for like 4.5, 5 weeks, Then we go back to Germany. We got 2 shows to do in Germany. And then it's time for North America, and a little bit of Canada we squeezed in because this is fun too. And then the festival season, when we come back to Europe, the festival season is beginning, which is always very, very great. It's nice going out for every weekend because and play like big festivals and meeting friends that you didn't see because they're touring and you're touring. But then after the shows, you hook up at the bar talking to somebody in different bands you didn't see for a long time because, you didn't see because they touring somewhere else all the time, I kind of like that, but that takes us busy for like October maybe. And then we start thinking about our next record.
That's insane, man. So like, so when you get all these shows booked and everything, like, do you have like a manager talking to you guys like a year prior, and like, do you guys have to like accept these shows, or is it something like management goes like, all right guys, you guys are on this festival, you're on that festival, you're on that festival, like do you guys have say like who do you play with and where, or like if you guys haven't played somewhere, you guys kind of want to be there specifically?
Yeah, it's very different. I mean, we're going to be asked to what we are going to do if the travel is too strong. You got to bear in mind, flights are not easy in Europe right now because the personnel is striking. The ground personnel is striking a lot of times, and then you got to go there a day earlier, and you got to really be careful with the traveling these days. If it's too close to each other, 2 or 3 shows, then you might not make it to the show because, flights are canceled and stuff like this. But actually, we kind of like to do a lot of shows in the summer season and actually all the time. But then you got to bear in mind a couple of people having children and families. And we're not going to be sitting on a bus for like 3 months and touring on a bus without having a break anymore. That's what we kind of changed. We put little gaps in, we put little breaks in between, just because we're not 20 anymore.
I dig it, man.
So we take it a little bit more easy. We do like 4 weeks something, and then we have a little break for 2 or 3 weeks. Then we do another 4 or 5 weeks, and then the festival season, you go out for the weekend, put fire to the curtains, and then quickly shut off. Take the beer from the fridge and then shut off.
When you first started touring, what was like your biggest challenge for you? Did you ever like get like worn out, or maybe like it was like ever like too much? Like, and also, getting all this attention on and constantly having to talk to people and like maybe not getting a mental rest. What was when you started being in this big band and doing all these beautiful things? Like, is it everything you expected it to be as a dream come true?
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I mean, I never really had a problem with traveling a lot. I mean, it's very cool the way we're doing it now. But when we were 20, 22, 25, up to 30 years old, it was like touring constantly. But then I felt very well with that too. It's a bit different now. We have, as I said, little breaks, but I always felt kind of well doing this. I felt like I'm on the right place. I was never complaining. I had my fun with people, going out and having fun, and sometimes relaxing. I realized this is the kind of lifestyle I really, really like. Hanging out and going traveling a lot. I wouldn't change it for any horrible reason, Some people asking me, "Oh, can I come with you? I will carry your boxes and fixing your cables." But I think if you have a normal job for half of your lifetime, like a 9 to 5, and suddenly doing a tour with Helloween for like 4 or 5 or 6 weeks, then it's going to be very, very exhausting for those who like to do it. They always think like they party, they get up, they party, and then they they fix a little cable. No, but it's and our technicians are really going into the venue very early in the morning, and then when we are already sitting on the bar, they still carrying the gear. You know, they still set the gear back in the car or in the truck and stuff like this. You know, it's nothing that you can do very easily if you never did it before. But I kind of grow into this, and this is my kind of life. I kind of still like it and don't have any problem at all.
That is so amazing to hear, man. I appreciate it so much. Everybody check them out with the United Forces tour. They're going to be joining Hammerfall. They're going to be playing all over the world, Canada, Europe, everywhere. I don't want to take time from the next journalist. I'm going to ask you 3 quick questions. Is that okay? It'll be off topic.
All right.
If you were in a zombie apocalypse and you could have any weapon to kill zombies, what would it be? But it can't be a nuclear weapon or the cure.
It would be. I would hit them. I would hit them with a bass guitar. I would probably sharpen my bass guitar, the body from the bass guitar, and would so that I'll be able to take the sharpened bass body from the bass guitar, hitting it and chopping off their heads.
I love it.
like a bass X.
Okay.
Tim Simmons has got one.
What is one band you see live that you maybe play with that like always just blows your mind every time you see them on stage?
Oh, this is like I saw the Who once. This is one of my favorite bands, and I saw Iron Maiden. We saw a lot of shows from Iron Maiden, you know, because we're playing with them. And they're very, very natural, you know. This is great watching them playing. And then we did a couple of shows with Judas Priest. It's always great. And I always like kind of 70s music. Each and every year at around Christmas time, there's like Wishbone Ash playing right here in Hamburg in a place called The Factory, the Rock Factory. And this is always amazing, you know. It's just like cool, very old-fashioned music with loads of twin guitars, very melodic, and the guys are playing so well. It's just like very, very cool, you know.
I love it. Markus, can you do us a favor? Can you say this is Markus GROSSKOPF and from HELLOWEEN, and you are listening to the Metal Mixtape?
Metal Mixtape?
Yes.
All right. Hi folks, this is Markus GROSSKOPF, HELLOWEEN's bass beater, and we're coming soon to your town, so you better be there or you'll be badly punished. And you're listening to Mixtapes. All right, see you soon.
Thank you, brother. You have a good rest of your day, okay?
All right, thank you.
Bye.